Every single night at exactly to 17. A 911 call still comes in from a payphone that was torn down and destroyed 6 years ago. The exact same words, the exact same screams, for the last 8 years. Without fail, I still drive out to mile marker 9 every couple of months, even though I transferred out of Dustwood County 2 years ago. I tell my wife it's just to check on the old patrol routes. But we both know that's bullshit. I go because I have to hear if the static comes back. Because if it does, that whisper will be waiting for me again. Soft as a lover and cold as a grave thank you, but now it's your turn. My name's Elias Thorne. Used to be Deputy Elias Thorne, Dustwood County Sheriff's Office, before I put in for the transfer and ran like hell to Austin. People think West Texas is all big skies and quiet nights. They've never worked graveyard shift in Dustwood. Out there, the sky is so big it swallows sound, and the quiet gets loud enough to make you question your own heartbeat. It started on a Tuesday in late October, the kind of night where the wind off the Permian Basin smells like rust and old blood. I was nursing a cup of station coffee thick enough to patch tires when the 911 board lit up at 17. The caller ID showed a payphone prefix that hadn't existed since 2019, the booth outside the abandoned Texaco on Route 349. Torn down for years earlier after kids kept using it to cook meth. The voice on the line was a woman, panicked, screaming over wind noise and what sounded like a metal tearing itself apart. 911. What is your emergency? Bus flipped, oh God, the bus flipped. Mile marker 9. Old Lease Road by the pump jack, send help please. People are hurt bad, then a man in the background, gurgling, tell them we're trapped. Tell them hurry, the line went to static. Then dead. Ramirez and I rolled code 3. 40 miles of nothing but creosote bushes and nodding donkeys that look like skeletal praying mantises in the headlights. When we reached the coordinates, nothing. No bus. No wreckage. No blood. Just sun blowing across the road like ghosts trying to erase their own footprints. We were writing it off as a prank when the radio in the Tahoe exploded with voices. Dozens of them. Layered, overlapping, all screaming the same things. Only worse. Help us, we're pinned, I can't feel my legs. There's fuel everywhere. It's gonna mommy. It hurts. And under it all, the hiss of sand blasting metal and bones snapping in rhythm. Ramirez went pale. Elias, that's not coming from dispatch. It wasn't. The voices were inside our unit, bleeding straight out of the speaker. I grabbed the mic. Dustwood 211 on scene. Mile marker 9. Negative wreckage. Say again your location. Silence. Then a single child's voice, clear as glass. Why didn't you come sooner? That was only the beginning. 3 weeks later they started calling me by name. After that night, the calls came every few weeks. Always 2 o'clock and 3. Zarawa. Always the same stretch of highway. Most deputies called it solar flares or some electrical anomaly. Not me. I started answering. First time I responded alone, the woman's voice came through like she was sitting right beside me. Yuri coming? Yuri really coming this time? I floored it, 90 on a 65. Telling them to stay awake, apply pressure, sing if they had to, anything to keep them with me. When I reached mile marker 9, the voices stopped mid-sentence. Total silence. The kind that has weight. The calls kept coming, but less often. And every time, I gave them what they never got in 2017. A calm voice, real instructions, hope. I lied like hell, and it felt holy. Then new voices started cutting in. Sheriff Harlan, dead 5 years. Medics had never met. It was like the universe was rewriting that night through our frequency. I actually started to believe I was freeing them. The final night was different. I was already parked at mile marker 9 when the call came at the 13th. The voices were exhausted, hoarse, like they'd been screaming for years. I picked up the mic. This is Deputy Thorne. I'm on scene. Pause. Then the woman Marisol whispered. Elias? Hearing my name from a dead woman stopped my heart. We see the lights, she said, voice trembling with relief. The ambulance's firemen are cutting us out. Someone's holding my hand. It's warm. I looked around. Nothing but darkness and pump jacks. That's good. I managed. You're gonna be okay? A little girl asked. Are you an angel? Then Sheriff Harlan, all units, scene secure. 38 souls accounted for. Cancel further resources. The radio clicked off. I waited for the usual fade out. Instead I heard breathing. Close. Intimate. Elias, Marisol whispered. And her voice was clear, alive. Grateful. Thank you. We're free. The temperature in the truck dropped 30 degrees in a second. Frost crawled across the inside of the windshield. We were stuck in the moment we knew no one was coming, she continued. But you heard us. You stayed on the line. You gave us the ending we needed. Soft laugh. Almost tender. We will rest now. But the road still needs someone to answer. Elias. It's hungry. It's always hungry. And you've been feeding it so well. The cab lights flickered. For 1 second the passenger seat was empty. Marisol sat there, neck broken, face half gone, eyes milky but smiling. She reached out. Her fingers passed through mine, but the cold went straight to the bone. Your shift starts tonight, she said. Then she was gone. I peeled out doing 110 and never went back. Put in transfer papers the next morning and ran. But sometimes, on a quiet stretch of highway anywhere in Texas, when the clock hits to 17, my phone buzzes with an unknown caller. I never answer, because I know exactly what she'll say. Thank you for picking up, deputy. We've been waiting. The road always needs another voice to keep the lost ones company. Looks like I'm on permanent dispatch now. Forever. My name's Elias Thorne. 31 years sheriff of Willowbrook, Minnesota. I've pulled bodies frozen solid from half a mile down. I've cut down men who tried to feed the lake their own shotgun. I thought nothing could surprise me anymore. I was wrong. February 12th, 2024, to 17. The church bell that hadn't rung in 25 years rang once. Slow. Heavy. Like someone dragging a corpse across bronze. The bedroom air turned to smoke that was there. Burned hair. Cooked fat. Sunday roast left until the alarm gives up and dies. My phone exploded. 37 calls in 12 minutes. Same story, every house. A man standing outside the window. On fire but no flames. He presses his hand to the glass. The glass melts inward 6 inches. Then he is gone. Only the smell of barbecue left 3 days too long. First house I reached. Doug Miller was vomiting in his snow-covered yard at Tafoya. The sliding door behind him still glowed orange. Handprints sunk deep, edges dripping like wax. Doug looked up, snow in his beard, and said it wore fire like a coat. Elias. Then it just a gentle burma. Came undone, like smoke going back up the chimney. By sunrise we had 29 melted handprints across town. And 12-year-old Tommy Greer woke screaming with 5 perfect fingerprints burned across his back. Someone had held him while he slept. That was night 1. A week later the burns started appearing on living skin. Door still locked from the inside. People quit sleeping. Every light in Willowbrook burned 24/7 th. We bought every camera within 100 miles. My house looked like a surveillance truck had thrown up in it. Big mistake. The more cameras we pointed, the stronger he got. At first just flickers on the edge of frame. Then 10-second cameos. Then one night my backyard cam caught him full tall, naked but not naked. Skin rolling like lava under black scab. No face. Just fire breathing slow where a mouth should be. He raised one hand to the lens. Screen flashed orange. When I ran outside, the camera had melted to the siding like candle wax. Then the fire started. Small. Precise. Always at 312. Always in houses where somebody kept secrets. Fists. Bottles. Locked bedrooms. Screams nobody ever reported. We fought back with more cameras. Half the town linked feeds to a private server in some kid's basement. We called it the Watch. Hundreds of red lights blinking into the dark. Samuel loved an audience. He stopped standing outside windows. Started standing inside the footage, right behind you while you slept 10 feet away. Sometimes HED wave. Or press one burning finger to where lips used to be. February 2025, the disappearances began. Bed still warm. Sheets soaked in sweat and melted fat. In the middle, gray ash shaped like a person curled fetal. No bones. Just dust that smelled like Thanksgiving gone wrong. I quit sleeping. Started scratching my arms raw. Woke up with perfect blistered fingerprints rising under the skin. Hid them under long sleeves. Told myself it was eczema. One night in March, the bedroom lit up soft. Orange though every light was off. He stood at the foot of my bed. You could see the quilt pattern through his chest like heat haze. Air jumped to 150 degrees in a heartbeat. Sheets started smoking. He raised his hand slow, almost tender, and pressed it dead center of my chest. Cold first. Then the heat bloomed outward in perfect rings. I called and screamed. My lungs were already full of smoke. When I woke at dawn, there was a handprint branded over my heart. Skin split. Black. Still cooking from the inside. Little reed capillaries popping like tiny fireworks. That's when I knew I had to dig him up. For hours with Pecoskin whiskey coffee to reach the coffin. Samuel Whitaker lay there in his green mold suit, jaw wired shut. Eye sockets full of frost. Inside the breast pocket, a jarred journal. Last page, fresh ink. Welcome home, Elias. My mother died of cancer in '89 and took one secret to her grave who my real father was. Dates lined up perfect. Whitaker blood docent lie. He hadn't been haunting Willowbrook. HED been recruiting. They forced me into retirement in April. 60% of my body covered in burns they couldn't explain. Gave me a plaque and closed the door real quiet. Now I drive the streets some nights. Windows down at 20 below. Town looks safer than ever, red lights blinking on every porch like fireflies. Sometimes I park outside my old house. Sold to a young couple with a baby on the way. I wait for the motion light. And there I am under the floodlight. Skin, candle white. Cracked, glowing at the seams. Eyes just coals banked low. I raise one hand the way he taught me. Press it to the doorbell cam. Tomorrow the husband will watch the footage and vomit in the sink. The wife will feel the baby kick like it's trying to claw its way out early. And they'll mouth the only words I have left. It's family. Fire remembers. And real soon Willowbrook will too. I was the sheriff trying to save this town. I was the match. Every night at exactly 3 a.m. in the town that tore down the mill 15 years ago, you can still hear the night watchman making his rounds. And now he doesn't walk alone anymore. I've always hated October in Mill Ford. The wind comes straight down from South Dakota with teeth in it. And the cornfields turn the color of dried blood before they die. By the end of the month, the sky stays the shade of a 3-day-old bruise, and every porch light looks like it's begging for mercy. October 31st, 2025. The rain came sideways, hard enough to strip the last leaves off the maples. I was dozing in the office chair with my boots on the desk when the phone rang so loud I nearly put a round through the ceiling. Rufus Klein's voice cracked through the static like ice breaking. "Harlan, the mill's walking again." That was the sentence nobody in Milford ever said out loud. Until tonight. Rufus lived closest. He hadn't slept right since the motion LEDs started triggering again floor by floor. exactly like a man making his rounds. I told him to lock his doors and keep the shotgun across his lap, then called my deputy Lena and rolled out. We got there just after midnight. Rain hissing. Headlights catching the fence glittering like it was sweating. Every few seconds a white LED flared inside the ruin higher. Higher, like something big was climbing stairs that weren't there anymore. Lena killed the engine. "You hearing that?" she whispered. Because the footsteps weren't upstairs anymore. They were coming down, straight toward us. Under the rain we heard its low, deliberate thud. Drag thud dragged the rhythm of a man with one leg that never healed right. We went in with maglights in the 12 gauge. The air tasted of wet brick and something sweet chemical that crawled down your throat and stayed there. For 3 hours we chased those footsteps. Always 10, 15 yards ahead. Always retreating. Always coming back the same route like it was holy. At train 47 the LEDs died completely. The building went coffin dark. But the footsteps got louder like they didn't need light anymore. I sent Lena home at dawn. Couldn't stand the way she was starting to look at me. I came back alone the next night. With infrared cameras. At 1:12 The first one triggered. 6'6" easy. Each signature blazing white. Left foot dragging just enough to scrape. I knew that walk. Every kid in Milford grew up on Josiah Harlan, the watchman who never missed a shift. 20 years punching the same clock, same route. When the bank took the mill, Josiah stayed. Slept in the boiler room. One morning they found him at the bottom of the stairs. Neck broken. On the footage he stopped dead center of the weaving room and turned to the camera. White hot sockets where eyes should be. Mouth moved. No sound, but I read the lips clear as day. "You hear me now, Harlan?" That was the first time I realized he wasn't calling someone else. He was calling me. I dug deeper. Found the real logs, the real death certificates, the barrels of trichlorhexidine rolled out at 2 With no paperwork. They killed him when he threatened to talk. Pushed him down those stairs. Paid off everyone who mattered. Killing a watchman only made him work harder. After that, people started dreaming. Bloody footprints from bed to mirror. Sleepwalking straight to the mill fence. By 2027 they finally demolished the building. Built a park. Put up a plaque. INMEMORYOFJOSIIHHA RLANTHEERNALWATCHMAN. First night after the dedication. The footsteps were back, only now there were no walls. Just open sky and fresh grass and the sound coming from everywhere. The disappearances started again. Always descendants of mill workers. Footprints leading from bedrooms straight to the park, then nothing. I retired in 2028. Hands shake too bad to hold a pen. The new sheriff thinks it's folklore. I sleep for hours now. The rest of the time I sit on my porch and listen to the wind cross the park. Sometimes it sounds like keys jangling. Last week the plaque was worn to the touch. I pressed my palm to it and felt the rhythm travel up my arm like a second heartbeat. My great-grandmother was Josiah's sister. Same limp I've had since 98. Same shadow that stretches too long under Streetleted. Some nights I wake standing at the door barefoot. Keys in my hand I don't remember grabbing. Wet prints leading away from the house. Size 14. Pointing toward the park. I fight it. God, I fight it. But I'm tired. The park is quiet tonight. Swings creaking just enough. I'm lacing my old red wings. The rhythm feels natural now. Thud, drag, thud, drag, drag. It sounds like coming home. If you ever drive through Milford late at night, slow down when you pass the park. Look for the tall shadow crossing the empty field. Wave if you want. He'll wave back. Then keep driving. Some jobs don't end when the building comes down. Some blood doesn't let you quit. I've got rounds to finish. Forever starts tonight.